Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andrew here today with yet another Guitar Hero slash Rock Band controller review, and that is going to be the TTX Tech wireless guitar controller for P4, P3, and PC. But obviously that means PS3, PS4, and PC, but I have a feeling this thing will also work on the PS5, but we'll see if this actually is up to what it's advertised to be. I've been seeing this guitar at a few different retro game stores as I've gone around, and a lot of people have been laughing at it, calling it the Whiffmaster, to basically just call it a knockoff Riffmaster, which I have a feeling this is really what it's going to be, but I was interested to see how it would feel in play, and if it was going to be anything comparable, because it was $85 versus the $130 that a Riffmaster goes for. So I wanted to see if this is a viable option for PlayStation and PC players. It's probably not compatible with Fortnite Festival on PC without a special set of software, but it probably will be fine with something like on the PS4 and PS5, and maybe even for some of the PS3 Rock Band games. So without further ado, let's go right into this and just do a quick unboxing. So I don't want to be quick to judge this thing, but once you usually see P4 and P3 versus PS4 and PS3, you kind of get a little nervous for how the quality is going to be, especially which you can't really see on camera, but the image of this guitar is extremely pixelated. So I don't know what to expect. I do know this box feels really funky, and the tape holding it down isn't going to hold down anything. It was basically as adhesive as Scotch tape, and I just ripped the box like a moron. That's not what I meant to do. Let's just open it from the bottom. That's how easy it was. I just barely pulled on the thing, and I just ripped the box. So let's see what happens here. So it looks like the neck is detachable, which is kind of interesting because I know the Riffmaster one isn't. This looks to be the neck right here, and buttons feel normal. I didn't take it out of the plastic yet, but I guess we'll decide how it feels once we do that, because we will do a first impressions on this before I start playing with it. This looks to be the body of the guitar itself. It looks like they actually packaged it relatively well. And then there looks to be a strap in here, and I guess a charging cable as well, which is USB-C, which I like better than micro USB, so I'm happy that that seems to be the standard. And that seems to be everything in the box. So it wasn't anything special. I don't even think that... Oh, there was an instruction manual. It looks like it just fell out of the box when I took it out. But this says it has something about a microphone, so I don't know what that's about. I'm probably not going to test that. I'm just going to really test the functionality of the guitar. And now that we got this thing open, I'm just going to close the thing again real quick if I can, because sometimes I have technical difficulties with myself. And... come on, close. Alright, that was probably the fastest unboxing I've ever done in my life of a Guitar Hero controller. Let's give our first impressions on how this thing actually feels. Alright, so now that we unboxed the thing, let's see if we can get this thing put together. So I just noticed on the very back there's a little holder for the dongle. I forgot if there was a holder on the dongle for the Riffmaster. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but this looks to be a dongle guitar, which is what you would expect out of something for like a PlayStation controller, because usually there's no other way to sync it to a console other than using a dongle or a wire, but looks like this is one of those dongle guitars. The neck right here, I'm a little nervous about the durability here, because if you look at those pins down there, they're the same kind of pins that you would have from a 360 Les Paul, and those were awful. So putting this thing together, I am a little nervous for if I should ever take apart the neck. One thing I like about the Riffmaster is the neck is foldable. This one just isn't, but it goes together just fine. And honestly, it feels like a World Tour guitar mixed with a Riffmaster, but it's got a Guitar Hero strum bar. No way. Oh my god. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. That's actually kind of cool. And it feels really good on top of that for the strum bar too. Now the buttons, they're a little iffy. They feel a little different. These are not normal type of frets that I would say are perfect Rock Band frets, and they're not the average Rock Band fret. They are definitely a different kind of material, and they kind of flip-flop a little bit when you move them from left to right. Like if I go on the red fret and I just kind of push to the left, it pushes to the left and right, so it doesn't just go straight down, it kind of goes on an angle, and it's a little hard to slide between the frets. That's the only thing I'm a little nervous about. So I don't know how optimal that's going to be, but it looks like for the bottom frets right here as well, they are basically the same fret, just a little bit smaller. Not that much smaller, but these are the solo buttons right here, it looks, but the buttons are a little iffy. Yeah, no, the buttons are a little iffy. It's got the joystick on the back of the neck, just like the Griftmaster, and this one actually, I want to say, feels about the same. Neck is detachable, like I said before. It looks like the faceplate's actually able to be taken off as well, with that little unlock button on there, just like on the classic Guitar Hero controllers. But first impressions, this is honestly not as bad as I was expecting in terms of the feel. The whammy bar feels really nice too, but that's not really hard to manage. But there's a light button on here. Now what happens if I try turning this thing on? Does the light turn on by any chance? Or does it have to be connected to something for the light to turn on? Well, I guess we'll find that out when I start actually playing with the thing and doing some songs. So without further ado, let's go and do that right now. Nice. Dude, I can't even hit Treeverse on this thing. Oh, come on, dude. Seriously? Come on. Really? Dude. This is not it for tapping. Cool. If I can't hit this in like 5 tries, I'm just going to use the one where I muted the audio. Nice. Cool. Nice. Oh well. I almost missed. Oh, so the strum bar is reliable. Alright guys, so after doing some Clone Hero stuff, I decided to sit down with it and play some consoles, so I ended up booting up Rock Band 4 on PS4 and PS5, and I had no connectivity issues, despite the fact that I had some people tell me that they ran into some. I played Rock Band 4 for about a half an hour on PS5, and didn't run into any issues, and the part that surprised me was when I went to play on PS3, it worked perfectly fine with Guitar Hero Van Halen, so this thing just happens to work across PS3, PS4, and PS5, and I would love to test this thing on PS2 and see if it works on those games as well, like Guitar Hero World Tour and above. I would love to do that at some point. There's no point in doing that in this video because that's not what this is marketed for, but honestly, I'm very surprised with the features of this thing for the cost. I mean, it's a pretty impressive product despite the fact that there are some drawbacks from it. The strum bar itself seems to be the most reliable of the product. It's a really nice Guitar Hero strum bar. It works for rake strumming very well. It works for standard strumming very well. And personally, it feels just like a Guitar Hero strum bar. And I feel like I even like it a little bit better than the standard World Tour strum bar, despite the fact that it looks to be almost identical to it. So the one thing I'll say that's very annoying about this guitar is where the star power is, because, well, it doesn't tilt for star power. You can't tilt at all. You have to hit the D-pad, which is all the way down here. And I guess you can use your palm, but chances are you're going to accidentally do a strum input by doing that if you're playing Rock Band, and that's not so fun. Another thing that's a little bit of a drawback on this thing has to be the frets, and they're not the worst feeling frets in the world. I honestly think these feel better than the what's the thing? The Hyper Strummer, the Hyperkin Hyper Strummer. I think these frets feel a little bit better. And what's pretty interesting about these frets, which is the same thing that goes for Rock Band guitars, you can just take the little fret piece right off, and it looks like it's hitting two contacts right here, which are then hitting something down there. But if I were to talk about its response time, I'd say it's definitely better than a standard PS3 guitar, and probably closer to something like an Xbox 360 wireless Les Paul. I do think it's not as good or as responsive as a wireless Les Paul, just because I tried hitting Treeverse on the thing and I couldn't hit anything at all, but I was able to hit a combo some quads and some sections that I was doing for some of the alt tapping kind of stuff. But I think it might mainly just be the frets that are holding back the inputs, not so much the response time, just because of the way that they're designed. But I do have to give it to this company. This seems to be a completely custom guitar. This isn't like, it doesn't feel like a copy of anything. It feels just like someone's take on a Guitar Hero / Rock Band controller, and honestly, I'm all for it. I will say that this isn't as good as the Griftmaster. The Griftmaster definitely is a better choice. But if you're looking for something cheap and you just want something and you're going to play casually and you really don't care, this thing is perfectly fine. It's a normal guitar. It's just not as good as some of the other options out there, and especially not as good as some Guitar Hero options out there. But in terms of something it has over the Griftmaster, absolutely the clicky strum bar right here. So interesting product. I don't know if I should recommend it or not, but if you're just a casual player, I could probably just recommend it because the thing seems to be fun, and I put a little bit of time into playing this thing, and I put it through the ringer, and it seems like it kept up with me for the most part, other than when I was doing some tapping stuff. So I might use this as like one of my casual guitars for when I'm doing all strum stuff, or maybe if I have a friend over that doesn't really play the game a lot, I'll give them this, or maybe I'll even have some of my other friends from the Guitar Hero community try this thing out and see what they think. So anyway, guys, that's really it for my review on this thing. It is a very interesting product, and I have to say that I probably will be using it more often, but I'm not going to be using it all the time since I have plenty of other options that I can use that are a lot better than this. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next one.